All right, we are back with Scott Braddock, a financial planner at Scott Braddock Financial, and we're talking about the best ways to save money and the best money habits to prepare for the holiday season. So we're also taking your questions. All you have to do is text the number at the bottom of your screen right there. You can see it. I think it's to right or screen left. That might be 336-379-5775. So as we said, we're answering your questions. This is one that we have from a viewer. They say, I turn 59.5 next week, very specific there, Scott, and want to pay off my vehicle and credit card. Is it better to pull funds from my Roth or use my nest egg savings? What's your take on that?
Well, so we have a person here that has reached an age that's really important, and it's 59 and a half. There are some things that we understand that once we reach this age, we can now start to access certain accounts like our 401ks and not be penalized that 10% penalty for what's considered an early withdrawal. So this question is stemming from that point. Now, it really depends here. You know, ultimately that Roth account, you can take from it tax-free. You really want to speak to a financial planner because that could be and may look like a very advantageous place to withdraw money from. However, those accounts really do great in retirement. So the longer you can leave those Roth accounts alone, the better. So it would really be hard to give you a real answer here without knowing more about your situation. So I would encourage you to speak to a financial professional and really let them take a look at your situation and give you some really good advice. But word of caution, make sure that you do that so you take the right steps.
Okay, good information there. And so this viewer says, I have a little higher interest on mortgage, 4.5 to be specific. Should I prepay a mortgage payment to help offset interest?
Right. So again, you know, we want to take a look at historic interest rates and look at where we are today. And what also needs to be factored in here as well is the total financial picture. Look at the debts that you have. Look at your credit cards. You know, credit cards are going to usually have a higher interest rate than 4.5%. Some CDs are paying greater than 4.5%. Some short-term treasuries are paying 5.2, 5.4%. So these are the kind of things that we want to look at. And again, this is another situation where you really want to sit down with a financial professional that can give you a real answer, not just the shot from the hip here, because it's a little bit more complicated to get an answer that's going to benefit you long term.
Okay, Scott, so I'm hearing that there's some things you really have to be in the details more so about.
Right. The objective that I have here is to have folks start to think about these other questions that should go along with these bigger questions that are standing out in their mind in order to really solve what they perceive as, you know, a concern or a potential problem.
Okay, let's get to one of those bigger questions. How can we avoid taking on new debts?
Well, I think the best thing that you can do is create a budget. Really have something in place that you can look at and focus on. And ultimately, what that's going to prepare you for, and again, a lot of information that I share was shared and learned by me, by my more successful clients. And, you know, just having a better idea of the money that's coming in and the money that's going out is really going to put you a step ahead of a lot of folks out there that are trying to save money. You know, if your outflow exceeds your inflow, then your upkeep could ultimately be your downfall. So that's a famous saying. And so watch your money, watch how you're spending money. Now, here's a tip I'll share with you. I recently had was working with someone that had called me after an interview, and they were receiving a refund. And it was a pretty sizable refund that they were receiving. So what I talked to them about, in short, is you can adjust the amount of tax withholding. It's called a W-4 form. You get with your HR department, and you can actually decrease the amount of taxes that are being withheld so that you receive more of your hard-earned money throughout the year. That allows you to save it. And then, you know, we don't really need to loan Uncle Sam extra money throughout the year. We need that hard-earned money, and that's one idea.
All right, great ideas there. Thank you so much for joining us. We have really gotten some good stuff to work with here. So if you missed any of our conversation with Scott, you can find all of his info and all the info presented in this segment on our website, WFNY News 2 Wants to Know section.